The Adventures of Prickly Porky. Chapter 15. Old Granny Fox Investigates. Investigate is a great big word, but its meaning is very simple. To investigate is to look into and try to find out all about something. That is what old Granny Fox started to do after Reddy had told her about the terrible fright he had had at the hill where Prickly Porky lives. Now old Granny Fox is very sly and smart and clever, as you all know. Compared to her, Reddy Fox is almost stupid. He may be as sly and smart and clever someday, but he's got a lot to learn before then. Now if it had been Reddy who was going to investigate, he would have gone straight over to Prickly Porky's hill and looked around and asked sly questions, and everybody whom he met would have known that he was trying to find out something. But old Granny Fox did nothing of the kind. Oh my, no. She went about hunting her dinner as usual, and didn't appear to be paying the least attention to what was going on about her. With her nose to the ground, she ran this way, and she ran that way, as if hunting for a trail. She peered into old hollow logs, and looked under little bush piles, and so, in the course of time, she came to the hill where Prickly Porky lives. Now Reddy had told Granny that the terrible creature that had so frightened him had rolled down the hill at him, for he was at the bottom. Granny had heard the same thing had happened to Peter Rabbit and to Uncle Billy Possum, so instead of coming to the hill along the hollow at the bottom, she came to it from the other way. "If there's anything there, I'll be behind it instead of in front of it," she thought shrewdly. As she drew near where Prickly Porky lives, she kept her eyes and ears wide open, all the time pretending to pay attention to nothing but the hunt for her dinner. No one would have ever guessed that she was thinking of anything else. She ran this way and that way, all over the hill, but nothing out of the usual did she see or hear, except for one thing. She did find some strange marks down the hill, as if something might have rolled there. She followed these down to the bottom, but there they disappeared. As she was trotting home along the lone little path through the green forest, she met Uncle Billy Possum. No, she didn't exactly meet him, because he saw her before she saw him, and he promptly climbed a tree. "I suppose you heard of the terrible creature that scared Reddy almost out of his wits earlier this morning," said Uncle Billy. Granny stopped and looked up. "It doesn't take much to scare the young and innocent, Mr. Possum," she replied. "I don't believe all I hear. I've been just hunting all over that hill where Prickly Porky lives, and I couldn't find so much as a wood mouse for dinner. Do you believe such foolish tale, Mr. Possum?" Uncle Billy coughed behind one hand. "Yes, Mrs. Fox, I confess I done have to believe it," he replied. "You see, I done seen that thing my own self, and I just naturally have to believe my own eyes." "Huh, I'd like to see it. Maybe I'd believe it then," snapped Granny Fox. "The only time to see it is just at sunup," replied Uncle Billy. "Anybody that comes through that hollow at the foot of Briar Porky's hill at sunup is likely never to forget it. I wouldn't do it again. No, sir. Once is enough for your Uncle Billy." "Huh!" snorted Granny and trotted on. Uncle Billy watched her out of sight and grinned broadly. "As sure as Brer Sun gets up tomorrow morning, old Granny'll be there," he chuckled. "I must get word to Brer Porky and Brer Skunk and Brer Rabbit."